to their title, having finished 6th in the table. And there are the final standings for the Cooperative Championship in 2011. Featherstone and Leigh, first and second, all 8 grand finals in National League One, and then the Championship have featured the teams finishing first and second. So Featherstone and Leigh are fancied to extend that record on October the 2nd at the grand final, but the Bulldogs in third have shown great consistency, and you can never rule out Halifax in 6th when it comes to sudden death rugby league. But Sheffield Eagles in 4th and the Widnes Vikings 5th might have something to say about that. Those two meet tomorrow night, 7:30 at Bramall Lane. Sheffield Eagles against the Widnes Vikings in their elimination playoff. And then next Thursday, 7:30 on Sky Sports, we'll see the qualifying semi-final as Featherstone Rovers take on the Leigh Centurions. And of course, the Championship 1 playoffs begin this weekend as well, and both games kick off at 3 o'clock on Sunday. The elimination playoffs between Doncaster and Whitehaven, and Rochdale and last year's beaten grand finalists Oldham. Well, both these sides, Batley and Halifax, are missing a band bruiser this evening. Sean Hesketh is out for the Bulldogs, having picked up a 2-game suspension. Ian Priest is at full-back. Then it's Johnny Campbell, Daly Williams, Danny Morn, Wayne Retty, Paul Hanforth, the captain, and Paul Mennell. In the forwards, Byron Smith, Chris Lythe, Craig Potter, Alex Bretherton, Dane Manning and Ashley Lindsay. And on the bench, Jason Walton, Adam Robinson, Chris Buttery, George Flanagan, the coach, Carl Harrison. And Halifax, without Jim Gannon, who picked up a 1-match ban before the disciplinary on Tuesday. Miles Greenwood is at full-back, then it's Paul White. John Goddard back in the side after injury, James Haley, Rob Warrency, White and Warrency, 50 tries between them so far this season. Bob Bezic and Danny Jones, the half-back combination. Interesting selection from Halifax there. In the forwards, Neil Cherryholm, Sean Penkovic captains the side, Sam Barlow, Ryan Clayton, Paul Smith and Jacob Fairbank. And on the bench, Ben Black, Michaeli Aizu, Joe Chandler, Stephen Bannister and the coach, Damien Ball. And among the crowd here this evening, Brian Noble, who of course was consultant at Halifax a couple of months ago, and here as an interested spectator this evening. Of course, he knows all about getting to grand finals and winning them from his Bradford Bulls days, and out comes the Halifax side. Grand final winners in the most dramatic circumstances last season, and then Terry, an interesting selection for Halifax with Danny Jones and Bob Bezic, the half-back combination.
Both very good players, and Bob Bezic has not only been the architect of this side. When you need to come up with the big plays, come up with a 40-20 to get them on the front foot. And Damien Ball knows that Halifax have to be on song tonight, playing against a very tough Batley side. But there's a lot of teams that are very worried of Halifax. The strike that they've got, Rob Warrenty and Paul White scored 50 tries between them, and they are on song when they've got the ball and they're going forward. But this is a very, very tough Batley side. They've already beaten Halifax 3 times this year, and it's been a good 2 years for the Batley club under Carl Harrison, where they've won the Northern Rail last year and they finished 3rd place. It is going to be a very, very tough and physical game tonight.
Halifax looking to reach a 3rd grand final in a row, but as Terry said, the Bulldogs have beaten them 3 times already this season, each game going right down to the wire, and there's every chance that this contest here tonight will as well. Clint Sharrod is the referee in charge here of this one at Mount Pleasant. And before the game gets underway, there will be a moment of silence, a moment of reflection as well for the former Halifax player Dana Wilson, former Swinton Lions player, Leigh Centurions and Oldham, who died in the weekend in a car crash. The former Cook Islander international will be remembered by a minute's silence now. Dana Wilson, the Swinton Lions player who died at the weekend, remembered by a minute's silence this evening. And a lot of those Halifax players, several of those Halifax players, travelled with Dana Wilson when he was a Halifax player, and he was a really popular player at the Swinton Lions club, and his sudden and very tragic death has stunned the Swinton club. Batley about to get us underway here then in this elimination playoff. And Halifax get first touch of the ball, but they're going up the hill, but they have got great support here this evening, have Fax. In fact, they're probably going to be out shouting Batley by the look of things, such as the number of Halifax supporters who are here.
Well, Batley have had a fantastic season, finishing third in the ladder the regular weeks, and they'll look to get a big start going down the hill. They'll know how dangerous Halifax can be, particularly late on in the game, and Ben Black and Mikhail Ezu will be something that Carl Harrison and the Batley Bulldogs will have to fend against.
3 wins already over Halifax by this Batley side this season, so they've got the beating of them, that's for sure, but it has been close on every occasion, and generally it's also been tasty, it's also been controversial, so stand by for fireworks here as Bezic puts the kick in from inside his own 40, but it's straight down the middle of the field, and Priest picks it up comfortably.
And that's that kicking game that Tez had mentioned. Bob Bezic probably given that role. Did he lose that ball then, Priest, when he got up to play it? I'm not sure whether there was any control there.
Well, the referee, Clint Sharrod, didn't spot anything untoward there. Now here goes Johnny Campbell, one of several former Salford Academy players in this Batley side. Lindsay, Manning was the dummy runner. Here's Ashley Lindsay now, Clubman of the Year at Batley's recent presentation nights, and he's certainly a clubman, is Ash Lindsay. Here's Byron Smith, once of Halifax. Halifax born, in fact, the Welsh international prop. He plays the ball. Little kick from Mennell, and Warrensey calmly traps it with his boot, but then looks up and sees the Dogs hounding him down.
Well, both sets of forwards will be happy with the first touch. When you're playing finals football, you want your first touch of the ball to be good. You don't want to be making a mistake. And there you can see the urgency of the back three again. Warrensey offering himself yet again. He gets behind the ball to bring it forward, and he is a very good player. Well, there's the first penalty of the game.
Well, that was Ash Lindsay's response. That's enough of that. Bang.
Ash Lindsay lifting the leg up, and I watched the Halifax team warm up. I watched the back three, Greenwood, White, Warren, so we constantly talk about them, but they've been working on linking up. There's that illegal tackle. They've been working on linking up one another, so I expect one of them to catch it and look to find the other one with a pass.
So the penalty, and back-to-back penalties in actual fact. Batley trying to delay things, and Byron Smith, the culprits.
Byron Smith in the middle of it there, and it's Big Sam Barlow. He's another interesting selection. Playing at prop for the second week, was selected there against Hunslet, did a good job, and Damien Ball keeps faith, and again, going back to Mikhail Ezu, he'll make a big impact when he gets on.
Here's Cherry home now, so back-to-back penalties have taken Halifax up the slope here. It's done half the work for them. Here's Jones now. 2 tackles gone as Clayton comes down on the 10-metre line. And Penkovic across the field. Here's Jones. Jones, Bezic. Bezic for Greenwood. Greenwood going for glory himself. He's going to the sidelines at this rate. Just managing to stay in the field of play. Went across the field there, and it's a bit of a mix-up. The ball's come up for Paul Smith. Still pressing, attacking the end where the Halifax supporters are gathered. Here's Barlow trying to use his strength. He can't reach out. Good defence by the Bulldogs so far. Cherryholm trying to barge his way over. He's held up. It was a forward pass, says the referee.
That's what's made Batley so good this year. The way that they turn up for each other and defend their line. You can just see the numbers. You can see him looking at what's coming in front of them. Cherryholm's there, but Byron, so if he gets in front of him, the pass went forward. But the players that are there, they work so hard when they've got to defend. And Carl Harrison has done a fantastic job with Batley.
That was the turnover. So Batley survived, but then they come up with the error. That went forward, and Halifax will get the ball back straight away.
Sam, I don't need you.
Well,
forward over here.
And Craig Potter running that ball up, taking a flat pass.
Sam, don't eat for that, okay?
Chris Lythe is penalised, giving Halifax head and feet at the scrum, and we'll have a look at them for the second time in good ball field position and see if they can be a little bit tidier in this set.
Here's Greenwood, scampering run from the fullback and then almost trying to come through a gap there. Just manages to shut him out, Batley. Here's Paul Smith, the senior man of the side. Smith, 34 years of age now, as he plays the ball. Penkovic buzzing along the line, and then the ball sits up. Clayton couldn't take it. And a scrappy start to this game, you'd have to say.
Well, Penkovic is a very dangerous player. He goes across the line, and he's looking to pull somebody out of the line. As soon as they do that, he tries to offload the ball to Clayton. Unfortunately, can't take it in, but that is why he's so dangerous. He's looking to isolate defenders, pull them out of the line. And that'll obviously prevent themselves with a big gap.
So Batley have it back. This time they'll try and keep a hold of it, having squandered possession in the last set of 6. Off goes Chris Lythe, the long serving hooker, the longest server in this Batley Bulldogs side at the moment. Potter.
Wait, go. Come on, Jacob Bacon to me.
Bretherton is stopped by a trio of Halifax tacklers. Here's Mennell now. Byron Smith, but they were waiting for Smith on the halfway line. That's the 5th tackle. Mennell will dink this one over the top, but it's going to sit up nicely. Well, it runs away in the end from Greenwood. I thought that was going to sit up nicely for him. In the end, it's not a bad kick from Mennell. Got away from the fullback.
It was a good chase as well. It was a good kick. Always difficult to handle the rugby league ball when it's bouncing on the floor.
Warren C. White and Greenwood, though, really are trying to outflank or wrong foot the Batley defenders.
Well, that's it, Bill. The first play, you've got to have a good kick chase, but the second and third play as well, you know that the dangers of White and Warranty, when they get behind dummy half and scoot, you've got to split forward and take the yards off them.
Cherryholm, using a more direct approach, makes some yards there. About 35 metres out from their own line, and so Jones thumps the kick in. And Campbell fields it just on his own 20-metre line and will run it back.
Johnny Campbell can return a ball. He runs directly into the first 2 Halifax defenders, but you feel on broken field, he's a good man to have in your team for Batley.
Danny Morn plays the ball. Here's another speedster, Wayne Retty from the other wing. 3 tackles gone. Bezic up high there. Here's Byron Smith, a puff of the cheeks as he takes on Paul Smith. Haley assists with the tackle. 4 tackles gone. Mennell. Potter. But Potter's progress stopped by the tackle from Fairbank. Lythe now, and here's Hanford. Hanford, little chip kick over the top, and Greenwood comes for it well and claims it bravely.
Well, he had to be brave then, because Paul Hanford, he was chasing up his kick, and he come from nowhere, Miles Greenwood. He's took a knock. But as a fullback, you've got to be brave, and you've got to put yourselves in a situation where nobody else wants that ball. Look at that, the bravery. He knew that Hanford was there, but he mops up at the back for Halifax.
But he's in a bit of trouble now, Greenwood, in back play. Got a bang in the ribs by the look of things. He's clutching his left side of his rib cage. The play continues, though, with Penkovic. Here's Danny Jones now.
Back here, Pierce, back here, Chris.
Referee looking for a knock-on and spotting one there. Jones losing control of the ball as he got to his feet to play it.
Well, Danny Jones and Halifax in general do look a little bit messy. There's the simple handling error. You had Penkovic offload it to Bob Bezic, who wasn't in a good position. He offloaded it then to Danny Jones, and now they're under pressure just over halfway.
So neither side yet to really pose a threat in terms of try scoring, and they won't with passes like that. Manning having to retrieve the ball and come back virtually to where it was played, and then making good progress. Dane Manning.
Fantastic run from Dane Manning, the man of steel in the club's awards night.
Here's Mennell now. Priest, quick hands and straight through the hands of Campbell. Strong pass from Ian Priest, and Campbell couldn't take it.
It's gone over here, gentlemen.
Well, I'm sure if he could have took this ball, it would have been a certain try. And Ian Priest, that was a decent effort to set Campbell free. He knew that he kept some shape, and Carl Harrison knew that his side blew a chance there. And you've got to make sure when you're playing finals football, you take every opportunity that's thrown at you.
So that was a let-off for Halifax, probably the closest either side have come to a try-scoring opportunity so far this evening here. 10 minutes gone in this championship playoff.
Well, Halifax not afraid to give the ball some air. Went through 3 sets of hands, less than 10 metres or 20 metres away from their own line.
Halifax have managed 6 wins from 8 visits to Mount Pleasant over the past 8 years, but not good recent form here. 2 defeats in the last 3 visits for Halifax on this ground. But Batley, in recent times, have become a formidable prospect, not just on their own pitch, but in the championship full stop. Great consistency this season, 3rd in the table.
Well, they've turned up tonight, Batley, and they want to play football. They know that it's going to be very tough against Batley, and when they're defending, they're getting numbers in because they know the danger of Halifax if they play on the front foot. Halifax themselves playing very, very physical because they know that if they stand back and let Batley play, they will look to bully them up the middle of the park.
Batley in possession. Here's Potter. Carl Harrison watching on, of course. There's a really interesting subplot to this game with Carl Harrison strongly linked with the vacancy at the Halifax club where he was such a hero. He's remaining very cagey about that as Warrensey lets that one go, and Warrensey will pay for that.
Well, Warrensey waved that ball away. He holds his arms out as if to say, that's not my ball, it's your ball. And Miles Greenwood, just watch him here, his arms out, he doesn't want it, he expects his fullback to be there. Then he has to get on his bike and get it. And Johnny Campbell does an excellent job with Danny Maughan. A repeat set of 6 for the Batley Bulldogs.
First goal line dropout of the night. And Batley have forced it.
Stay with Danny, guys.
With that kick, taking their time.
Time on.
Jones reaches Mennell on the Halifax 40-metre line. Here comes Craig Potter.
Move, Bob! Wait.
And Potter will play the ball. Chris Lythe now. Here is Ashley Lindsay. Lindsay takes the Bulldogs just inside the 20. Lythe appealing for the penalty and getting it. And Jacob Fairbank, the guilty party there.
Well, this will be interesting. Will they go for 2 points or will they keep the pressure on? I'm sure that the way they've started, they'll keep the pressure on.
That's what they're going to do. It's Alex Bretherton, the Bulldogs' top try scorer this season.
That's it. Good. Go.
Mennell. Potter drives it in, and inside the 10 now are the Bulldogs. Can they draw first blood here? Hanforth going on his own. Almost got through there, Paul Hanforth. 4 tackles gone as Priest is stopped just short. Now Hanforth ships it wide, but it's Bezic who snaps it up, and Bezic will try and get one of his speedsters away. It's Haley now. Warrensey was screaming for the ball, couldn't get it, but now he has, and now might be an opportunity for Warrensey to exploit. Not for long though. Good defence from Manning. He was aware there of the danger.
I think James Haley took the right ups and let's just secure the ball, try and knock out a set of 6 and stop playing so frantic. And that's where we go back to the back 3. A loose pass picked up from Bezic.
And Halifax off the hook. Bulldogs came really close there with Priest just short, Hanforth just short, and then that stray pass released the pressure. Here's John Goddard back in the centres for Halifax, had his injury problems this season. He plays the ball. And on the last, Jones hoists the kick, and it's a tester. And Batley player taken in the air. It was
He actually took him out.
Mennell, I think, who went for it and was taken out as he went for it.
Well, Paul Mennell, he knows that he's got a challenge for this ball, and it's Paul Smith who takes him out. That's what the penalty's for. You can see that he's just having a little look at Paul Mennell coming into his eye line over his right shoulder. and he just interferes with him, giving the penalty away and relieving some pressure.
It's Craig Potter, first opportunity of the evening to hear from Rodstad.
Yeah, I've been looking at Miles Greenwood, Bill, ever since he got that first knock, bang to the ribs, as you rightly suggested. Well, the physio have been on twice now, and every time he's involved in any kind of contact, he's really feeling those ribs. He's struggling, and at the moment, he'd have to be doubtful whether he can see out this game. Really struggling, the Halifax fullback.
And Halifax are struggling now, as Retty has possession. On that Batley right-hand side, Wayne Retty.
Back in, Jacob. Hold.
Lively winger, plays the ball. Here is Hanforth, the supporters player of the year and the coaches player of the year at that awards night. Paul Hanforth, there he is, number 6, just organising things, but the ball goes to that right-hand side. Manning, that was forward.
No advantage.
He just virtually handed it to his teammates.
Well, he seemed to panic, sorry Bill, he seemed to panic then, Dane Manning, when he got the ball, because he heard the call outside him. You can see he just ships it forward, and Danny Morn absolutely no chance to get that ball. Don't preempt the play, make sure you play through the line. That's why they've been successful in the opening 15 minutes of this game, Batley.
So 15 minutes gone, and neither side yet off the mark. Batley the closest.
Move! Just get out now, get out of there.
Here is Warrensey.
Surrender! Stand up! 2.
Bezic plays the ball. Well, here is
No.
Greenwood. Those sore ribs, a problem for him.
Wait and go.
Plays the, oh yeah, and as he got to his feet there, you saw him grimace. But here is Goddard now.
Yeah, Billy's struggling. He's trying to suck the oxygen in, and he doesn't look well at all.
Clayton, Fairbank now. This is Greenwood, and just
Go.
so ball went. Greenwood winced with pain. It's a problem for Halifax. Campbell, meanwhile, dealing with that kick on his own try line and doing well, Johnny Campbell. Now he's got some pace, but in the end, it's Barlow manages to stop him.
There's that return. Unless the line is set when Halifax put a good kick in on the side of Johnny Campbell, he'll make them pay.
Manning now, former Leeds Rhino, won Super League appearance, Dane Manning, before he joined Featherstone Rovers. Here's Ashley Lindsay now. Lindsay was hoping to hit an offload there, but Cherryho managed to get him wrapped up, so he couldn't do that. Here's Daly Williams. Another one of the Salford connections.
Wait here.
And that's the 5th tackle. Really cagey opening to this game between these two sides in this elimination playoff. That's a heck of a kick, and Warrensey deals with it well. Now then, looking to go outside Campbell, but Campbell gets a hold of him.
Oh, he did well then, Warrensey. Backpedaling with the ball up in the air. A little bit of darkness in the sky. Is that an incorrect play of the ball? He caught that ball, Warrensey, and he was mighty relieved. They do a lot of kick-catching practice in the warm-up, the wingers, kicking and laughing, as they call it.
Which I don't think certain props take a dim view of that pre-match routine, don't they?
Well, I think they do if they don't get it right during the match, but if Warrensey catches the ball as he did on that occasion, then Rob Warrensey will be forgiven by his big fellas in the middle.
Well, he took that one nicely. All that pre-match practice obviously was worthwhile. Retty will field that ball down by his own try line. It is a very, very cagey cat-and-mouse start to this game.
Well, there's big McKaylee Ayres, who's just been sent on to make an impact, and he was leading the kick chase, and Wayne Retty had a little look up in front of him, thought, I'm not going anywhere near that lad.
Sent off, was that a Freudian slip?
I know. A bit of a slip of the tongue.
Well, McKaylee Ayres, who always comes up with one of his big ones really early on, and I bet the Batley Bulldogs players are just drawing lottery to see who's going to get it.
There was a sending off when these two sides met in the Northern Rail. Chris Lythe got his marching orders that day. That's the 5th tackle. Batley just inside their own half. There is Lythe. There's Mennell with the kick, but it's straight down the throat of the fullback Miles Greenwood. And Greenwood, well, he might be struggling, but he's not shirking his duties, bringing that ball back.
But you only get one chance, don't you? If you lose this game, you're out. You don't come back till next year. And the game's played at a decent, frantic pace. But both teams are playing very, very controlled rugby league. They're not making mistakes. They're very cagey. They know they need to get down into the opposition's half.
And we do appreciate the physical toughness of our players, and here we've got Michaeli Ezu with a big run, big charge. We understand what it's like to play with bravery, but when you're injured, you have to display mental toughness. You have to try and block out that pain and get through, and just as we see that, they're making the change now. It's got beyond that point, and Miles Greenwood has to hold his hands up, and a change will be made shortly, probably Ben Black coming on.
Yeah, Greenwood is heading towards the sidelines. Play continues meanwhile. Batley in possession. Here is Campbell. Tackle just inside his own 30, and Greenwood making very, very slow and painful progress off the field as play continues. Ben Black is on the field, and Black actually, as play continues, Black was gesturing to Greenwood, telling him to get off the field. No sympathy there. Penalty, meanwhile, goes in favour of the Batley Bulldogs.
Well, here you can see there's 3 men in attendance. And is it Danny Jones who rips that ball away? And this time of the year, is Miles Greenwood. He really is struggling. You can see from the first few minutes of the game, he's been in pain. The message goes off from the physio, you need to get him off. And look at the position now Batley are in.
That's put Batley in a great position, and here is Lindsay with the first tilt at the Halifax line. Just 10 metres out as he plays the ball. Shakes his head as he gets up from the tackle, something he objected to there. Manning, 2 tackles gone. Here is Hanforth now. Are we going to see the first points of the night here? Priest puts the brakes on, bounces off Bezic, skips past Ezu, and then runs into Barlow, I think it is. It's Penkovic who makes the tackle. Mennel shows and goes, gets the pass away, and Priest will get the first try of the night. It's taken 21 minutes to get there, but Ian Priest diving over to get the first try of the night. And, well, they've met 3 times this season. Batley have won them all. There's no shortage of ill will between these two sides, and a little bit of it there as Ian Priest celebrated his try, and he'll get a bit of a talking to from referee Clint Sherrod.
Cool on those sort of situations. I know, but the thing is that you've got to keep your cool. That's all I ask for. Well, that's good, but let's keep it that way, okay?
Referee Sherrod just telling Ian Priest to keep his cool.
Well, Halifax, they need to be disciplined because they know they're up against the tough Batley side. Danny Jones gives that penalty away, and you can't switch off. And Paul Mennel, look at that, he goes into collision with 3 Batley players, picks out Michaeli Ezu, and he is the architect of this side. And Ian Priest, he stays alert to where the ball is, and he knows that Mennel, once he gets his arms free, the offload's on, and he goes in for the first try.
7th of his campaign, Ian Priest. A really versatile player as well. I think in the games we've seen Batley this season, we've seen him at full-back, we've seen him at standoff, we've seen him at scrum half as well. Now Hanforth with the conversion, gentle swing of the boot, and Batley lead by 6 points to 0 here against Halifax. It's taken some getting, but the Dogs have got the first points on the board.
This is a superb try from Batley, but I do believe having to reshuffle when Miles Greenwood goes in, that slot there where the try scored by Ian Priest is where the fullback should be. I'm trying to look how Halifax have reshuffled and who they've got at the back.
It's Haley who's gone to full-back, and well, I was expecting Bannister to come on, but Black to come on, but Bannister has come on instead.
Well, James Haley, he's gone to full-back, and it's Ryan Clayton who's gone to the right centre to cover James Haley. That's how they've switched this team around.
So Batley ahead, as they have ultimately been in the meetings with Halifax this season, but they've had to come from behind on a couple of occasions in those games, and they've left it late as well. Now here's Hanforth. Oh, I thought he was shaping up for a 40-20 there, but took them on successfully. Now then, has he got some support? He's got Manning alongside him. He might just decide to go on his own, you know. He'll get support in the end, and it's Daly Williams who'll claim the try. And what a run it was from Paul Hanforth. No wonder he got the Player of the Year award, the supporters and the coaches Player of the Year. With a performance like that, It was Daly Williams who finished it off for his 9th try of the season, but it was Irish international Paul Hanford who set it up. He's paid the price. He's going to have to get off his haunches and kick the goal in a minute. But what a try that was from this Batley side.
What big men don't want in the middle of the park is speedsters with footwork that's running at them. He shapes the kick, and look at the strength here. He gets rid of John Goddard, and he has the pace and the composure. Look, he doesn't panic. He knows that Manning is being closed down, but that is a skillful try. You can just see the shape to kick. John Goddard, he plants his feet. He can't prevent him, and the urgency that he shows. Just look at him looking around. Who can I pass to? No, I'll take the next player. No, I won't. I'll set up a try. And Daly Williams following up the halfback to score the 2nd try for Batley.
Jamaican international Daly Williams, former Keighley Cougar and a Salford City Red as well before he came here to Batley. Now Hanford has recovered from the bang he took in creating that try. And will look to push Batley further ahead here. So after a real tight opening 20 minutes, Batley have struck with 2 tries in 2 minutes. Both converted by Hanford for a 12-0 lead. The Dogs are ahead here. Halifax have work to do. There is Daly Williams, the try scorer.
Well, this is a tremendous try. Daly Williams does incredible to get with the break that Paul Hanford makes, but look at the work from Dane Manning. A big admirer of Dane Manning. He accelerates there, sticks on the shoulder, and that's the reason Paul Hanford can't be tackled. He can't be dealt with because Dane Manning is in attendance. So a try assist from Dane Manning.
Well, if the Bulldogs are to go all the way to the grand final, they need to beat Halifax here. Then they've got to beat either Sheffield or Widnes, who meet tomorrow night, before winning away at either Leigh or Featherstone, who feature next Thursday on Sky Sports. So Carl Harrison's team are going to have to perform heroics if they are to become the first side from outside the top 2 to contest a Championship or National League One grand final. Featherstone against Leigh, the top 2, will be live on Sky Sports 2 next Thursday at 7:30. Here is Hanford. Oh, and that was a trip, perhaps, was it, by Bannister? The referee certainly saw it, and Bannister acknowledges it.
Well, there's some line speed coming in from Halifax. The tackle before this, we saw Mikhail Iezu running at 3,000 miles an hour at nobody and missing that tackle, but Steve Bannister can't cope with the footwork from Batley and gives the penalty away.
Well, these penalties are proving costly for Halifax. Another one, and they're reversing back towards their own try line. Here is Adam Robinson.
Bill, there's another alarming stat as well. Halifax have missed 11 tackles already in this game, and Batley haven't missed 1 yet.
Well, here is Lindsay now. Little legs driving Ash Lindsay closer to the line. Lythe, Manning, heavily involved early on here. Dane Manning, Chris Lythe, Hanford. Hanford's short ball, oh, almost through, and that was an incorrect play the ball as it turned out.
Yeah, that's a shame. That
Jason Walton just on the field.
Jason Walton runs a lovely line. He's very brave, Jason Walton. Whenever he runs, he's got his eyes wide open trying to catch that ball, but doesn't get to his feet. Good decision. You probably argue that Smith doesn't help him.
So a let off for Halifax, who really, for the last 7 or 8 minutes, have been down in their own quarter of the field, struggling to get upfield. Clint Sherrod, meanwhile, the referee takes a tumble. Always pleases the crowd, that does.
Well, even Clint's feeling the pace of this game. But Woody and Sam there for Halifax, the first player off the penalty, it was James Haley who takes the ball in off the tap. The forwards weren't there, so the forwards in the middle of the park are doing an awful lot of defence.
I'll tell you what, I bet the referee gets some stick about that when they have the referee's review procedure after the game. Brian Noble watching on from the sidelines, watching a really gritty playoff game. So much at stake for these two sides. Halifax, the defending champions. The kick from Bezic, Retty dicing with danger there.
Well, that's the first piece of pressure that Halifax have managed to build. And Tez gave a stat about the missed tackles that Halifax have come up. We'll see that good kick from Bob Bezic again. Wayne Retty's failure to deal with it first time meant that he got shoved over into his in-goal. 95 tackles from Halifax and only 72 from Batley, 20-odd more.
Stay with Ian, guys, he'll let you know.
The energy battle being won by Batley.
But Halifax will get the ball back here from the goal line dropout, and Ezu will build up a head of steam from the halfway line. Manning is the first brave man to put his body on the line and sensibly went down low.
You've got to get your body in front of him. I love the way he just tucks the ball under his arm and runs as hard as he can. He wants to win every collision, whether it's defence or attack, Ezu.
Well, Halifax now then, can they put a little bit of pressure on Joe Chandler? Now Penkovic, Bezic, Black is on the field. Black, a lovely pass, and Haley will get the Halifax try that has those supporters cheering at last. Their first of the night. And James Haley, in his testimonial season, has something to celebrate, as do the Fax fans. And again, a little bit of afters after that try. There is much needle out there, and it's early days yet.
Well, if you're willing to turn the ball over and give field position away and possession to Halifax, there's one thing for sure: they're going to score some tries, because the amount of players who take the ball to the line, and this is why they're so good, and they score some exciting tries, because the likes of players like Bob Bezic, Sean Penkovic. You can see when Black gets the ball, he eyes up the defender, he fixes him there, and it's just James Haley. He comes tight off his shoulder, and it's very hard to defend when you're defending your try line, and you don't want Halifax playing that ball at 100 miles an hour.
No Lee Patterson, of course, for Halifax, still out through injury. Danny Jones, 90 for the season now with the boots. And that's lifted the spirits of the travelling Fax supporters. James Haley with his 4th try of the campaign.
Well, when coaches and players talk about building pressure and let's build pressure, let's force a goal line dropout, this is the reward that they're looking for. And Halifax, through a very, very smart line from Haley and a beautiful pass from Ben Black, get their first points on the board.
He has got a big game coming up on October the 21st as James Haley, as part of his testimonial year. The Burleigh Bears will be in town to play a Halifax side, and apparently the assistant coach at the Burleigh Bears is one Carl Briggs, formerly of Sheffield Eagles.
That'll be a very, very tough game, that Burleigh Bears. I remember a couple of years ago, was it? In fact, I think you played that game, Barry, when they beat Great Britain.
They didn't, they drew against us, I think.
Oh, sorry, okay.
Halifax have cut the deficit. 12-6 the scoreline here at Mount Pleasant. And here is Bannister. They've got Ben Black on the field as well now, so they've got plenty of creative spirit out there as well, with Ben Black involved. Sean Penkovic. There is Penkovic. Penkovic for Paul Smith, the maths teacher, just over the halfway line. That's the 5th tackle. And Penkovic just chips it over the top into a bit of open space. It's a great kick, and Black almost turned it into gold.
Well, every play for Halifax is an attacking play, but you can see that when they do start to play that ball and there's people rushing up and pushing in support, they do start to look very dangerous.
And I think there's almost 2 styles of play in the same game from the same team. When they build pressure, when they make Batley defend 2 sets of 6, we've already seen the reward that James Haley got. And if they finish the sets in the right, correct way, and Damien Ball, there's a knock on there, I feel. Probably missed by the ref, but if they finish the sets the way they want, then Halifax are the dangerous side.
George Flanagan with the run from Batley, and then the kick from Mennell. Batley players offside there, and Warranty has made a hash of that.
Yep.
They will get the penalty though, because Warranty was impeded as he went for that ball.
Yeah, he was held back by the Batley player. I'm sure it was Johnny Campbell here when he goes to get the ball on the second attempt. He was just tugged, his shirt was tugged. He makes a mistake, goes backwards, so that's play on, but that's where the penalty's from. Johnny Campbell, the number 30, just a little tug of the shirt.
You know, that just goes to show how difficult it is to catch a ball. Warrency leaves and jumps and jumps to try and catch the ball in there. In that last split second, it moves and he drops it.
So all this pre-match practice sometimes doesn't pay off then.
Well, it's amazing when you can catch him in before the game because there's no pressure on you. Not that I've ever tried to catch a ball like that in a warm-up, though.
Up to the halfway line, Halifax then. A bit of a let-off for them there. Here's Bezic now, a little skip from him, and Goddard.
Release! Go.
This first half has flown past. 33 minutes have gone. As Smith goes to ground, 30 metres out from the Batley try line.
Yeah, no, I've got 3, yep.
Bezic. Here's Danny Jones now. Clayton.
4! Play it!
Plays the ball, and penalty. Not square.
He's such a clever player, Sean Penkovic. He just has a little look when he goes into dummy half. You can see that he pushes Danny Jones out the way. He knew exactly what he was going to do, and he targeted Alex Brereton, and he wins the penalty for Halifax.
And Halifax don't hang around, looking to level matters here now with Clayton. Just about 5 metres away from that Batley try line as Ben Black has the ball in his hands.
Across the chest.
Chandler will play it eventually. Black. Bezic, short pass from Bezic, and the ball's gone to ground, I think. It's Bannister who couldn't take the pass.
Well, I choose to give Batley the credit that Taylor Williams flings his body at Bannister, probably arm at or around the ball, forces it out of the grasp of Stephen Bannister.
Well done, guys. Bind tight. Stand up.
Batley going into this game not in the greatest of form. Okay, they finished third in the table, but they've won only 2 of the last 6 matches. Those were against Halifax and Toulouse. And add to that the fact that this is their first game since the 21st of August, when they lost to Sheffield 26-28. So they're not going into this game in a great run of form.
No, the rhythm might be disrupted, but they only have to look back to August, and that's the last time they played Halifax and they came out victors there, so they'll have good memories of playing against the Halifax side.
Well, they lead them 12-6 at the moment, coming up to half-time. Here's Robinson, and ducks down, trying to burst through the Halifax defenders, but Clayton makes the tackle. Chandler there as well to assist him.
Good leg drive, good determination on that carry.
Mennel under pressure from Penkovic. Was it legitimate pressure? Well, Mennel didn't seem to object to it.
Oh, just got right back up to his feet. I think that was a fair decision.
2. No, that's okay. Move. Hold.
Big hits going on out there. John Goddard felt that one. Manning, I think it was, coming on him as he slipped to the ground.
Go.
Warrency. Always looking just for the slightest opportunity, Rob Warrency, and give him one and he'll be gone. Here's Bannister on. It's a stray pass from Bannister, and they're all scrambling for it. And who is going to get it? I think it's Batley who've got it, but whose knock-on was it?
I think Paul Mennel, when he goes down for this ball, I'm sure that he knocks the ball forward.
Yeah, you're right, Tez. Good call, good spot.
Was there not a knock-on before then?
Well, it's a loose pass from Stephen Bannister. He's looking for Ben Black on that nice line. Is there a touch here?
No, it's here. He jumps back up here, and he goes to dive on the ball.
Is that Clayton's hand?
Nothing in.
Well, it's hard to spot, even with a slow-motion replay, we can't sort it out. So in real time, it's a tricky one for touch judge and referee, that's for sure.
Well, some things will go for you, some things will go against you in the game, but it's how you handle that pressure and the controversy.
2.
Here you can see Mennel. It's not touched there, and when Clayton taps the ball, I believe that's what the touch judge gives the knock-on for.
Hold. Go.
Well, Bezic with Black, Jones, Mennel with the tackle.
Again, good defence from Batley.
Here is Warrency now. Coming towards the end of the first 40 here. 12-6 in favour of the Batley Bulldogs, playing down the slope. So Halifax will have that to their advantage as the kick comes in from Penkovic, and Priest had to shovel it dead, and they'll get another goal line dropout. They scored from the last one, did Halifax?
That's it, Bill. Will they get the same result? He has no choice, Priest. He needs to get the ball off the island, snuff out the danger, snuff out the threat, keep going back to this defensive battle, coming up to 100 tackles in the match and only one miss. What's that as a percentage?
Goal line dropouts. Got you off the hook there. It's a booming kick as well, and Bezic has to take it on his own 40 metres line, and then gives it to Michele Azu. Ball in one hand.
What? Release! Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming.
Lindsay put himself in the way and got up limping, Ash Lindsay.
Stand up.
Well, Michele Azu has no self-preservation when he carries that ball forward.
Goddard skipping outside the first challenge, I think, of Hanford.
Go.
And then plays the ball. Bezic for Bannister. Manning went looking for Bannister there, missed him.
Go.
Here's Bezic. Black for Jones. Jones out wide to Warrency. Warrency comes skipping back infield. They really are keeping a close eye on Rob Warrency.
Help! 5 and last, move! Back in!
That's
back
the
in,
fifth.
well done. Just get up and play it.
Coming up to the last 60 seconds here in the first half as Ben Black puts a grubber kick in. It's rolling across the in-goal area, eventually runs out of play, and they'll tap on the 20.
Well, Daly Williams, he was confident. He was shepherding that ball over the dead ball. But they must make sure that they don't fly out the line when they're defending their own line. And Manning, I'm sure Carl Harrison will be saying to him, just keep your line and we'll be okay. But if you shoot the line, you'd obviously give them a gap and an opportunity. And Sean Penkovic, the more this game's going on, he's coming more and more into it. Halifax give the penalty away.
Didn't make it to Markham, mate.
It's Bob Bezic. He's caught on the floor. He tries to get around. And it's George Flanagan who spots it. And he just runs straight at him, getting inside the penalty.
You going to have a shot? All right.
Well, Paul Hanford, in the last few seconds of this first 40 minutes, has decided he's going to go for 2 points from about 5 metres inside his own half.
Well, the ref said, what, you're going to have a shot? He said, well, I may as well. A couple of seconds left to go.
Yeah.
Well, it could be a game as close as this that's decided by a 2-pointer. So
Sean, just back a couple of paces.
Every point could well count when we get to full time here.
Guys, make sure we stay behind.
Every point that you can garner along the way, and Hanford's deciding that he's got a chance from here.
Well, he knows every inch.
He hasn't got
this pitch.
It isn't as though there's a great breeze at his back, though.
It's downhill, though, Bill.
Well, Hanford has stumped that one, but it's wide of the target. I think it had the legs, it just didn't have the distance. And that was the final act of the first 40 here. And Carl Harrison's men lead by 12 points to 6. Halifax will think, well, 12-6, second half.